I'm still pissed. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm very disappointed in the way that the Democrats conducted themselves last night when Donald Trump was giving his speech. It was very disappointing. Not only that, how they treated that 13-year-old black boy. And the reason why I say black is because I want to address our people, my people, throughout this video as well. Just very real issues. And before we start going back into what happened and took place last night during that electrifying speech, I want to show y'all this real quick, this clip. This guy posed a thought process that I want y'all to ponder on real quick, right? So he asks, white folks, can you name 5 white people who were anti-racist in American history? Great question. I think that black people need to hear this.
I said, name 5 white people in American history who fought against racism and slavery. And I want y'all to think about that, because have there been 5 people? Yes. Way more than 5. Thousands. And I would ask you as a follow-up question, why can't you name them then?
You wasn't taught.
Because if we are to live in a society that is supposed to be anti-racist, meaning something that we create that benefits all people, not someone more than others, then we should know about people who've been fighting for years and years and years. We should know about Reverend Bruce Clunder, who was a white guy who was protesting school segregation in Ohio, and Ohio is considered the North. He laid his body down in front of a bulldozer in the 1960s to protest school segregation and died.
I did not know this. I did not know this. I know, of course, we know about the Civil War, but of course that's being dismissed in the black community for sure.
We should probably know about Ann McCarty Braden, who organized with Rosa Parks, and she helped organize white Southerners to join the civil rights movement.
Oh, wow.
And to go against redlining, which was systemic ghettoization. She bought a house in her name for a black couple who could not buy a home in the neighborhood they wanted to go to. It's a lot of people. Reverend James Reeb, who marched with Dr. King. We don't often talk about John Brown, is probably the most infamous one. But even beyond him, there are so many other folks, even during the period of enslavement. What that means is we can never say they were a product of their time. Not necessarily. They were a product of peer pressure. Think about it that way. Because we know deep down inside when something is right or wrong.
That's right.
General Lee in the Confederate Army, he has a descendant, Robert E. Lee. He has a descendant right now who's a pastor, white guy, who's anti-racist. Was that an easy thing to do? No, because he got kicked out of his church congregation because of that.
Wow.
But it was a bold thing to do.
Wow.
So when we talk about miseducation, it ain't just like, dang, black people, y'all ain't learning your history. White folks, y'all not learning your history.
Most people are going to watch this clip, hear the way that I introduced this video, and go, oh, look at this black guy right here trying to simp for the white people. No. I'm sitting here just trying to prove to you that there are objective facts that we all need to agree on. It's black and white this, black and white that, black and white this, black and white that. We're black people, we're taught to be so against white people because of, American history with slavery. We just came out of Black History Month. I don't ever hear anybody talk about the white people that contributed to black history. These people, did they not contribute? They helped Rosa Parks. They helped Martin Luther King. Not only did they help, they played prominent roles. But I don't know. I have to, anywho, let's go ahead. I have to do research about this is what I was going to say. Let's go back into the merit of this whole video, right? Got to give y'all some context. Actually, the father and Daniel actually responded to what took place last night.
An agent of the United States Secret Service.
I was not expecting that. Nobody even told us, even though that they knew. They didn't even want to tell us.
I'm his dad, but I realized I became a chauffeur. So, yeah, I found him driving him all across the nation and relentlessly and tireless to get him there.
What a beautiful moment right there. And seeing those reactions, or seeing his reaction to that, was just priceless. Young cancer survivor. The Democrats, the black and white, but they could not, for whatever reason, cheer for this man. They couldn't show no empathy for this guy whatsoever. Not even a little bit. Not even a bit. Not even a little bit. MSNBC asshole says that she hopes the 13-year-old cancer survivor kid who wants to be a cop does it. Unalive.
But I think this was a lesson in finding one thing that you let yourself feel. And I let myself feel joy about DJ. And I hope he's alive for another, 95 years, right? And I hope he lives and the life he wants to live. He wants to be a cop. He knows what he wants to do. And maybe when you have childhood cancer, that crystallizes for you. And I hope he has a long life as a law enforcement officer. But I hope he never has to defend the United States Capitol against Donald Trump supporters. And if he does, I hope he isn't one of the 6 who loses his life to suicide. And I hope he isn't one who has to testify against the people who carried out acts of seditious conspiracy and then live to see Donald Trump pardon those people.
Listen, y'all, we got to stop voting Democrat. I'm glad that right now, we definitely made that happen in November. Did you see why we hopping off of this Democrat plantation? Black and white, for that matter. Puerto Rican or whatever. That was just some real heavy shit there. I don't even know if I can respond to it appropriately. Now, Karoline Leavitt, before we dive into everybody it's snapping on what took place, we're going to dive into Karoline Leavitt, starting it off. She's talking about the common sense and how, Donald Trump wants to unify the country based on that.
They've allowed their Trump derangement syndrome to stop them from celebrating America and our people, and we will not allow them to forget that. And it's not just the Democrat Party. The mainstream media still doesn't get it. Last night, MSNBC's Nicole Wallace disgustingly looped in a 13-year-old boy with brain cancer into an attack on the president over January 6th. And CNN's first Chiron out of the speech called it divisive. President Trump wasn't divisive. The Democrats were.
Yes.
And CNN was proven wrong by their own viewers, 69% of whom, in a post-speech poll, said they had a positive reaction to the president's speech. It's sad and frankly pathetic that Democrats and liberals in the legacy media continue to allow their hatred for the president to override their love for our country. But nevertheless, the president will continue to unify this nation through policies that are grounded in common sense and that uplift all Americans.
Amen to that. Not just black people, not just white people, not just green people, not just orange man, not just Brandons. So I know a lot of y'all probably obviously this video was made for everybody. I'm just saying I wanted to aim at my fellow culture. One thing that I don't like about content creators these days is how, even though they share the same skin color, they try to disassociate themselves as if like I'm black and then those are different blacks. Now, obviously, there's different like mind frames in particular areas and things of that nature. I think I can say that. I won't say areas, particular groups of black people, but we all black nonetheless. But anywho, just to further on that premise, black Democrats continue to be used by the Democratic Party to carry out their depraved agendas. It's time for us to stop allowing this. It's time for me to stop reading these words like that.
So I just finished watching Donald Trump's address to Congress, and I just wanted to say this before I forgot. Black people, you are the sacrificial lambs of the Democrat Party. You are the cannon fodder that they throw to the front lines to take all of the hits for all of their nonsense. So it was so embarrassing to watch Al Green with that ridiculous display and to see that he had to be escorted out by the sergeant at arms. It's crazy to me. If you just look at it, look how often they always throw black people to the front line. The Democrat Party I'm talking about. They always throw y'all to the front line of their movements, of their politics, to take all of the hits, to use you as the symbols of all of their nonsense. I mean, just look at it. Whether it's Tish James, Alvin Bragg, Marilyn Mosby, Fonnie Willis, Stacey Abrams, they use y'all. They put y'all to the front. You do it voluntarily. And then when they're done with you, they just discard you. They throw you by the wayside because they don't really give a shit about you. I mean, just look at it. Joe Biden, on his way out the door, he pardoned everybody, his whole family, the J6 committee, Fauci, and everyone else. But he didn't pardon none of y'all. Why didn't he pardon Tish James? Why didn't he pardon Alvin Bragg? It's like all of you who they used to target Donald Trump. What did they do? When Joe Biden was like, yeah, thanks for your service, bye, bitch, and left y'all behind. But yet y'all still are so loyal to the Democrat Party that does not care about you. At the end of the day, it's sad, but this is why the Democrats continue to treat black people like political children, because they have people like you at the front lines who voluntarily engage in some of the most ridiculous and egregious practices on behalf of that party. And it sends a signal, it sends a message, this representation, a false representation of the unbridled willingness of black people to do whatever they need to do to please white liberals. You gotta stop, because this is embarrassing.
Think for yourself, man. Because now we have the likes of Jasmine Crockett, Maxine Waters, Hakeem Jeffries. You've seen what happened to Al Green. You have them rallying. What was the other woman name? Can't remember, the bald black woman. I can't remember her name. But yeah, they came together, or they're coming together now to somehow rally against this whole situation, and also frame it as if Donald Trump is somehow against black people. However, we won't cheer for our own black people due to TDS. They are grown adults with choices. No one is throwing them to the front of the line. They go there willingly. The problem is, by blaming white people, you're scapegoating black people. Tony, you're feeding the racist beast the moment you call out color rather than character. I literally said they do it voluntarily. This is why listening is essential, without allowing your feelings getting in the way. Blame Democrats, not white people. Yes, he definitely did. Let's move on. So this is some responses from us after watching last night's situation take place.
Oh my God, y'all, this is too much. I am watching this address to the Joint Congress. Let me tell you guys something. The Democrats, if you are a Democrat, you should be so embarrassed.
Oh.
They're acting like little bitty kids. Like they all got an attitude. They had to kick Al Green out because he running there shaking the stick. Nancy Pelosi slobbering on herself. Hakeem Jeffries sitting over there. And did you see Jasmine Crockett when Al Green got kicked out? She sit down like, I don't think I should do it right now. You should not. They all over there holding up signs, somehow false and Elon and all of this. They are so embarrassing. I wouldn't want to be a Democrat, but you know what this does? It lets me know that I'm on the right side, because everything that man is saying is good for America. And now you see who does not want America to prosper. You see who does not care about America. Them Democrats sitting over there with an attitude. I'm sick of them. Oh my God, they're embarrassing. I couldn't be called a Democrat. No way. They look like old, brittle, demonic demons. They look like gremlins, just bitter bigots. They just look like their life sucks. Their life sucks. They look unhappy. I wouldn't want to be married to none of them, honestly. They look like they are just terrible in a relationship. Like they frown up at everything. You can't be yourself, can't have no fun. They're bullies. They suck. I am so glad Trump is back in office. Because look at the leadership. This is rate the leadership. I'm going to give them a thumbs down. Can we fire all of them? They don't even want to collaborate with the president.
They don't.
You know, that's supposed to be in leadership, collaboration. They don't even want to do that. They don't even care that things are going good. Did you hear the stuff that he was listing that they found? With the waste? And I'm glad he called Stacey Abrams out too. But I'm sick of black Democrats. You know what? Y'all taking the fall. You got them white Democrats that put y'all up in the front for y'all to take the fall. Now y'all looking stupid and ignorant. I'm glad they put Al Green's old funky behind out. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of all these old bigots. Go America.
I know that's right. Yeah, I don't know what kind of statement they're trying to send out outside of furthering the divide. If you're somebody who's going to be a leader or want to take on a leadership role, and on either side of the aisle, you at least have to display a level of being able to be civilized, even amongst your quote unquote enemies and people you don't like. This guy right here, Damani Felder's take.
We need to talk about Trump's address to Congress. And honestly, it makes perfect sense why the left chose to act the way they acted this evening, because the left is the same party that wants to lower the voting age to 16, right? Only an edgy 16-year-old would act the way they chose to act this evening, choosing to refuse to even give President Trump props for things that make life better for Americans on the left or right side of the aisle. But of course, he even mentioned this himself, Trump did. He said basically there's some things he could do that the left would simply choose not to be in support of, not to cheer for, because he is the person behind it. This is a level of pettiness we've gotten to here in America. And of course, it was a 2-hour-long speech, and much of it was very substantive. But if you were to ask your average Democrat, they just sit there and hold a little card and say, lies, lies. When you press them on that, they won't tell you what the lie actually was, because their whole foundation is built on lies, but I digress. But these are the people they want to be taken seriously now, even though they will act like petulant, spoiled children when they are actually brought to task on what they chose to waste, what they chose to do to the American people for the last 4 years. They've been doing this for so long, they think they can get away with it. And that's the thing that should gall average people, is they sit up there in this House chamber and they refuse to even stand up and cheer or show their condolences for the parents of children who unfortunately lost their lives at the hands of illegal immigrants who shouldn't have been here in the first place. And that's how petty they are. That's how evil they are. I've seen what makes you cheer, so I'm not going to sit here and lose sleep over what you choose not to cheer about, because you know what? You're not a serious person. This was the best, honestly, campaign ad for 2026 and 2028, because these are people now on the left who expect to be voted into power again in the future, right? And they're gonna sit here and act this way when Trump is talking about things that will actually make the lives of everyday Americans that much better. That's a level they've sunk to. That's what they will continue to do. And I, for one, am sick of it. And I'm sure you are too.
Yes, I am.
A fully functioning brain.
Yes, I am. Brought up a very great point too. The Jasmine Crockett's, I shall say, the Al Greens, they are definitely setting themselves up to be failures in 3 years from now. Definitely. Come on, man. You don't think this type of behavior is going to be reviewed during the campaign ads and whatever y'all trying to do? Dog, they definitely did it to themselves. I 100% agree to that. Now, this woman right here addresses what happened that night as well. And she says the Democrats are heartless.
When Trump said tonight in his address to Congress that he wants every child in America to know that they are perfect just the way God created them and that they were never trapped in the wrong body, was one of the reasons I voted for him to be president. Trump tonight highlighted real issues that affected real people and how his policy changes and executive orders either benefited them or will make sure that they're less likely to occur again. Mm-hmm. This address to Congress was about the people of America.
Yes.
About policy changes and how he wants to move America forward in a positive direction. If anyone have any dislike or disdain for Trump and what this address represented tonight, then you are the problem. Trump was very presidential, very commander-in-chief-ish, and he stuck to the points that the American people care about. God bless our president, and God bless the United States of America.
Yep, they did not stand up or clap for DJ Daniel, the boy with brain cancer, Lincoln Riley and her family, Jocelyn Nungary, and her mother. But this is the community y'all want to still rally behind. This guy right here renounces his affiliation with the Democrat Party.
So you can't stand for a 13-year-old brain cancer survivor, huh? You bring little ping pong paddles with various dysregulated nonsense that's typical of who you are these days. You couldn't cheer for a 13-year-old boy with brain cancer getting sworn in to the Secret Service. You made a scene at the beginning of this joint session where one of your members got removed by the sergeant at arms, and I'm taking the over on if you'll blame it on racism with your old greasy ass. You don't stand for the murdered, for the victims of families murdered by illegal aliens. You don't do anything except look absolutely ridiculous. And then Nicole Wallace says something so unhinged and so flat out evil and removed from reality about that boy with terminal brain cancer. All you've done is prove exactly why I was absolutely right to renounce this motherfucking party. This evil, state-worshiping, power-hungry, money-grubbing, war-mongering party. You deceitful brood of vipers. You're so afraid to show the least little bit of humanity. And maybe I'm feeling a little bit more emotional because I didn't say this earlier, but a good friend, my very first friend passed away last week. We found that out. He'd been my friend for 30-some years. And I found out he passed away. So maybe I'm a little bit more emotional than I realize.
Now, I'm going to stop it right there because I think the point that we needed to hear was made. However, if you want to watch the full video, I have retweeted it on my channel. On my page for you guys to go see and support Isaiah L. Carter. Make sure I give him a follow too. First of all, my heart goes out to you, bro. Sorry about your loss. And yeah. It's not just that though, bro. I mean, I was a bit emotional looking at it myself. It's just sad looking at our people dehumanized just because of TDS. Y'all go check on somebody today. You could be saving their life.